And then we will get to we'll reminisce over our episode 33 preseason awards and division predictions.
Yeah, we'll see how this goes.
It's gonna be fun.
So yeah, if you go back to the episode 33, the AFC East was the first one we went to. It starts at the 3-minute mark about. I picked the Bills, and you and Ben picked the Patriots to win the division.
No, I picked the Bills.
Did you pick the Bills?
Yeah.
That's not what I got.
I had the Patriots making the playoffs.
Ah.
At least in my notes. Maybe I changed it in that.
Let's see what I got. Patriots here.
Well, we'll go with the Patriots then. I don't want to throw you off.
Yeah, it's gonna mess up everything. That's the first one, and that's the one I got.
Regardless, we were wrong, even if you just had them in the playoffs. So.
Hey, but I think I put the did I put the Patriots? I put the Patriots in the wild card. So I think we kind of just flip flopped in general.
Yep.
Yeah. I think all of us had those as our top 2 teams in the division.
Yeah. Some of it was kind of varied on the records, but that was interesting this year for the Patriots. But I think we are overthinking it again. I think we were like overcompensating for Bill Belichick. I mean, like, he can do it with a team of third graders, and then
I also just think, I mean, they had some COVID problems, they had some injuries.
Well,
the most opt-outs, they had injuries.
Expected Cam Newton to be that bad.
Yeah, I mean, especially after the first 3 weeks, people were like, "Oh, the Patriots, he can do it." And the first 3 weeks, Cam Newton was pretty good.
Yeah,
we weren't taking back our pick after week 3.
No, I thought he would be better.
Yeah, and the AFC North starts at about the 9.5-minute mark, and this one we kind of flopped around. I said the Ravens would go 12-4, and I said the Steelers would be the 7 seed this year at 9-7. But Ben, you reiterated repeatedly, he's like, don't sleep on the Steelers. That defense is really good. So you did hit right on the money, with the defense obviously being number 2 this year in the NFL.
Yep.
And then Isaiah, you had the Browns as the wild card, and the Steelers go 6-10.
Yeah.
And then you and Ben both picked the Ravens to win the division still, though. So you did hit that. Ben had Steelers at the wild card, and you had the Browns at 7-9.
Yeah.
Okay.
So Isaiah, you were the highest on the Browns, and you're like, the Browns are gonna make the playoffs.
I just thought they were due, and it turns out they were.
Yeah, and I did not.
They did their best to fumble it away at the end. They did.
That was funny. I was like, this is getting Browns like. So yeah, technically, Ben, you did still put them in at. Wait a minute. No, you put the Steelers in the wild card. So no, you and I both did not put them in the playoffs, but Isaiah was like, I think they can make playoffs this year.
Yeah.
So you basically just flopped the Steelers because they had 3 teams in the division make it this year.
Right.
And most of the time, we're not picking 3 teams in the same division to make it.
Right.
So that was not too bad for us. We just kind of
mostly. I wouldn't say that's mostly why, because I wasn't that high on the Browns, but I think that deterred me from, because I figured the Ravens and the Steelers were going to make it. Like, I just felt good about both those teams, and I really was not going to pick a 3rd team from that division. I just figured it just wouldn't happen.
It says a lot about the Browns too, and Stefanski in general. Like, they did most of this year without Odell Beckham Jr., who was like their star.
Yeah.
Yep.
I think we did talk about in that episode, though. I think we said the AFC North and the AFC South we could see as divisions getting 3 teams in the playoffs.
Yeah,
we did. Yeah.
I don't think any of us picked a single division to get 3 teams.
Mm-hmm. Yep. I'll check again at the end here, but that again, we started out pretty decent in our picks, except for the Patriots there. Yeah. AFC South, that starts about at the 14.5-minute mark. I specifically said the Jaguars will have the number 1 overall pick this year. And so that feels good.
Look at that.
I'm going to pat myself on the shoulder there. But I had the Titans go 12-4, the Colts go 11-5, and the Texans go 9-7. And then, Ben, you picked the Texans, and then the Titans as a wild card. And Isaiah picked the Texans to win, and the Colts as a wild card.
There you go.
Yep. I think the Texans, if you were to look at most predictions from anybody, that would be the one outlier. That was just pretty. I mean, I don't think anybody really saw that coming. Maybe an 8-8, 9-7 year, but I think most people thought they were at least going to be a fringe playoff team.
Yeah, I bet there's some random guy on Twitter that would show you something.
Probably a Titans fan, but I just again, we probably didn't expect that, but I remember after they lost pretty badly in week 1, I remember we talked about it in our next episode. We're like, their schedule was looking rough because we looked at the teams that were the bit most
They had
disappointing after
a
2 or 3
really-
weeks.
yeah,
And I'm like, oh, they could start 0-6. This is a gauntlet.
Yeah, like they needed to come out. They needed to just win like 2 of those games in like early. Just find a way to win 2 of them, and then even if they were 2 and 4 going through
Yeah.
that, I'm like, all
All
right,
the hopes and dreams got sucked into Bill O'Brien.
Because they did play better once the middle of the year kind of came around. They had a nice little. They were looking like they were putting it together. But
yeah. Once they fired Bill O'Brien,
yeah, right. Yeah, Romeo Crennel got the job done.
Yeah.
The ugliest coach in the NFL.
Dude, I love it.
apparently he's the ugliest coach.
Apparently, some Steelers fans said that. AFC West, that starts at about the 20.5-minute mark. We all picked the Chiefs, and I don't think that was a surprise at all.
No,
The only one that named specific records was me because I was nerdy and went through every single team in every game. So I said, but I did say the Chiefs. I didn't say they're going to get 14-2 or 15-1. I had the Chiefs go 11-5.
Yep.
And I had the Chargers 9-7, Raiders 7-9, and Broncos. I got dead on the money 5-11.
Hey,
I think we all kind of talked about how the Chiefs probably wouldn't. They probably
They had a
didn't
tough
struggle.
schedule.
Yeah, they probably didn't struggle as much as maybe a couple. I know Joel, you thought they would struggle. Maybe not struggle, but like be in for some tougher games. They probably breezed through it a little bit more than either of us thought they would. But at the same time, it was more. I don't know. There were stretches there definitely where it was like I don't know. They were in some games where maybe the previous year or on paper they shouldn't have been. So
I think we kind of all agreed. I remember in that episode that it's just a first place schedule that they had, and they had to play the NFC South, which we thought was obviously going to be very stacked this year with the Saints and Bucks. We thought the Falcons would be a little bit better.
Yeah.
So I think
they handled those teams pretty well.
they did. Yeah, they did good. And I mean, they were 15-1 until they played Chad Henne in the backups.
Hey, Chad Henne played well. They literally did not use him enough. They should have been throwing the ball around.
It was just Darwin. Fine, we'll blame the loss on Darwin Thompson.
He started like 9 for 9 for like 100 yards and 2 touchdowns. Yeah. They should have been slinging it.
Anything is possible.
Anything is possible.
That was funny. He was walking in like full camo gear. Yeah. What is going on here? This guy.
He can do what he wants. He's earned it.
He's old.
Yep. And then we'll go to the NFC North here. That started about the 24-45-minute mark, where Isaiah, you picked the Vikings to win the division.
Heck yeah.
You picked the Packers as a wild card, and then you said the Bears will probably go 4-12, 5-11, and then you had the Lions go 5-11, which perfect.
Yep.
Well done on the Lions. Yep.
There we go.
And then Ben had the Lions second at 8-8, and then the Packers to win at 10-6. And then you said the Bears would probably be right up in there too, but you said they just didn't have enough firepower to get where they needed to.
They really didn't either, if you really think.
I know it was by the skin of their teeth.
Joel had the Lions.
They started out so hot.
Will bash me pretty quick here.
That changed it. I mean, they started out so well that I was like, crap, like I'm wrong, but I think it caught up to them. The offense caught up to them eventually.
Yeah. And then I had all the teams in the NFC North go 3-3 against each other, so finish just this season 3-3 in the division.
Yep.
And I did have the Lions win the division at 9-7, and I had them finishing with pick number 19 because they lost the wild card week against the Saints.
That didn't happen.
It didn't, but it would have if they did play the Saints. They would have gotten annihilated and lost round 1 and had a terrible pick at 19. So I'm kind of glad it didn't.
So you just picked the Lions to do what the Bears are going to do.
Pretty much, yeah, because the Bears got to deal with that now. Yep. And then the Packers I had 8-8, and the Vikings and Bears I had 7-9.
Okay, the Bears are going to do that, mind you, on Nickelodeon.
Yes,
it's going to look like a kids comedy show for sure. So I might as well.
If Mitch Trubisky doesn't get slimed, it's a bad day.
That's what I was gonna say. I said, I'm like, are they gonna like run into the end zone and then like get slimed?
Dude.
They're gonna slip on the turf and they're gonna like make a slide.
Like Patrick's gonna run out and tackle him or something. Like I'm confused.
It'd be great if something like what happened to Daniel Jones in the middle of the season happened to like Mitchell Trubisky running downfield and he just falls on his face, and then they go boink, and they just put like sound effects in there.
Yep, I think that's what they're gonna do.
It'd be beautiful. Sound of music. NFC South, 32-minute mark exact. We started talking about the NFC South. Hey, I like even numbers. Ben, you picked the Bucks to go 14-2 and be the best team in football. And then Isaiah, you picked the Saints to go 13-3
Okay.
and win.
Okay.
And then you had the Bucks at an 11-5
Okay.
wild card, so right on with the
Yeah.
Bucks. And then you said the Bucks were going to start really slow, and you specifically said they're going to finish the season strong with a 4 to 5 game win streak.
Did that happen?
I think they finished with a 4-game win streak, and they were putting up points in those last couple
They
games.
About that life,
They
man.
were bombing some teams at the end. So
Mhm. And then you had the Falcons 6-10 and the Panthers go 5-11. So again, very solid on those picks. Like Isaiah absolutely nailed the NFC South.
Nailed them.
I had the Saints go 13-3, and then the Bucks go 12-4, and then Falcons 7-9, and then the Panthers I put down at 3-13.
yeah, well, they were bad.
They look bad on paper. I said Christian McCaffrey's the only bright spot, and then even without Christian McCaffrey for 13 games, they still put together a better season than I anticipated. NFC East starts just before the 40-minute mark. We all went Cowboys.
Yeah. I mean, on paper, they were the best team.
Yeah. All the way around.
They were the best team. And I don't know, if Dak doesn't get hurt, maybe they end up being the best team. But
Yeah, true.
I had them go 12-4, and I had the Eagles go 10-6 and make a wild card.
yikes.
And then I put the Giants at 4-12, and then I put the football team at 3-13 with a top 5 pick. But specifically, I said Dwayne Haskins is not going to have his starting job by the end of the season.
Well, he did.
Specifically put
He
that.
doesn't even have a job.
He's not even on a team. Yeah.
Not even employed.
Mm-hmm. Ben, you said the Cowboys were going to win between 11 to 13 games. Never gave a specific one, and then Isaiah said about 11 wins. So you guys are kind of close on that one anyway for the Cowboys, but they definitely fell short on anyone's expectations.
Yeah, even with Dak getting hurt, I figured they could be better than that.
It's the offensive line too. Everyone always remembers the Cowboys to have like one of the best offensive lines in football, and they all got COVID or hurt.
Zeke had a bad year.
Things could have been different with Dak and the O-line healthy for sure, but every team has injuries and you just got to overcome. So NFC West was the final one, and that started at the 44-47 mark. Ben, you and I both picked the 49ers to win the division. And we both picked the Rams to go 4-12.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
Isaiah, you picked the Seahawks to win the division, and the 49ers to both go 12-4.
Yeah.
But the Seahawks get the tiebreaker.
Yes.
Which
injuries?
Yeah, that's what Ben and I are saying on our divisional picks too.
49ers, definitely.
Yeah, they did. They did have the worst, even worse than the Cowboys.
I was the highest on the Rams between the three.
You definitely were.
So I did have to put that in there. I think I said you said the Rams were going to go 6-10, so that was higher than whatever.
You guys laughed me out of the building.
Yeah, you were going to say 8-8, and I think you went down to 6 for us.
I think you started. Oh, I think they can go 500, and we.
Well, you said the Cardinals are going to go 8-8, and the Rams go 6-10, but you said they very well could flop, and then we laughed at you, and you brought it down like, okay, fine, 6-10.
Yeah,
you gave into our peer pressure.
Yeah. And I shouldn't have.
No, you shouldn't have.
Just like high school.
Yep, and I said Seattle 10-6, all Arizona also 8-8, and then like I said, Rams, Ben and I were the same on.
Yep.
So then we go to our AFC Championship picks.
Yep.
And Isaiah, you picked the Texans Chiefs.
Good. that can still happen.
Next year.
We call the Bulls.
Sometime.
Yeah. Hold the line. Bucks and Seahawks in the NFC.
Yeah, that could happen.
That could still happen, yeah. And then you had a Chiefs-Seahawks Super Bowl with the Chiefs winning.
That could happen.
It's valid. Ben, you said the same exact championship games as Isaiah. You said, yep, same. And then except you said that Kansas City is going to beat the Buccaneers 41-34. And you decided to come out with a score, and we were like, what are you doing? We did not plan for this life. So we had to quit trying to BS a score together. But yeah, you said KC over the Bucks 41-34. You said that game is going to be crazy fun to watch, high scoring.
Very well.
It could.
These all could happen.
Except for mine.
Except for
mine. We're going to get to here.
The Lions in the Super Bowl. Is that what happened?
I told you they got picked 19. No.
The Lions versus the Cowboys.
No, oh gosh. You could fire me off this show and you guys run it after this, but that was the case. I am still actually sticking by my most recent update for the AFC Championship game is the Titans Chiefs, and that was my preseason pick was Chiefs Titans.
Okay.
Yep.
And then my NFC was the
Wanna come out of
Saints.
Town or
Yeah. And my NFC was the Saints at Cowboys.
ooh.
At Cowboys.
That means the Cowboys had the home field advantage.
At Cowboys of all.
Oh man.
Oh, boy.
Yep. hmm
No.
And then I said it was going to be a Chiefs Saints Super Bowl,
Well, that could happen.
that could
and then
happen.
I had the Chiefs winning 34-30.
Could happen.
RJ did not give me the AFC and NFC championship, but he did pick the Bucks Ravens Super Bowl, so that also could still happen.
Probably not. Just because it's
Oh.
hard.
But they're both 5 seeds. I'm like, and when I sent you guys that picture, if based on like defenses and offense combined, it would result in a Ravens Bucks Super Bowl.
True.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing: the Ravens will be have already been figured out, so they'll probably win this week. But
I truly do believe that you could stick with the Bucks and say the way they played in the last couple games,
Yeah.
they're on that hot streak you talked about, and they're going to make your Super Bowl dreams come true.
they are.
Their last loss was a close one to the Chiefs, and then they've won 4 straight since then.
Yeah, that Chiefs game taught
They're
them a
the
bunch.
only
The problem is going to be if Mike Evans is seriously.
Yeah, 38-10, I think was it.
38-10 against the
Yeah, they
Packers.
beat the Packers 38-10. They're a legitimate team.
Yep. I mean, their issue is going to be with the Mike Evans injury. What's the extent?
But again, they have Scotty Miller, Chris Godwin, and you obviously see Antonio Brown could go off now.
I mean, they're loaded. at
Brock,
receiver.
OJ Howard, Cam Bray, literally anyone.
They're loaded at receiver. They'll
Yep.
be okay.
Yep. So now we have our award predictions.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
MVP of the season.
Patty.
Isaiah was the only different one.
Mm.
Ben, RJ, and I went with Mahomes. Isaiah went with Deshaun Watson, who obviously had an MVP year, just
Hey,
on
he had
the wrong
he had
team.
great-
He's not going to win it because his team's terrible.
yes. And I'm pretty sure I only picked that to be different. 'Cause
Mhm.
I picked Mahomes for my offensive player of the year.
That might be it. And I'm saying the 4 candidates that it could be is going to be Rodgers, Mahomes, Josh Allen, and Tom Brady.
Yep.
Those are going to be my top 4.
I did have Josh Allen as my breakout player of the year, though.
I don't know
I
if we did a
didn't write that
breakout.
down, but I just said it
Oh,
because I did the.
I said it right now, but I
No.
predicted it in my head.
I said it in that episode because I did the thought process to get to it, and I wasn't going to let us leave it out.
Oh.
So
I remember in the AFC East
I
discussion,
remember we had some discussion about Josh Allen for sure.
Yeah.
Offensive Player of the Year. There's a little bit more difference here. I think we all went with it. We actually all did go with a different one. Isaiah went with Patrick Mahomes because you said he wasn't getting MVP, so he'll get the runner-up, and that's going to go to him. I said Derrick Henry.
that probably will happen.
Ben, you said Lamar Jackson,
That won't happen.
and RJ said Kyler Murray.
That would never
That-
happen.
Definitely not going to happen.
Yeah, so RJ lost that one. I won that one.
Yeah.
Because I think it's going to be Henry, Devontae Adams, Delvin Cook, Alvin Kamara, and Tyreek Hill.
Yes. And probably do.
I guess you could put Mahomes in there if they do a runner-up quarterback.
They don't.
I just
take
they
it.
usually don't.
I feel like MVP is the quarterback award.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think that's why I always give it to a position player for offensive player of the year. But defensive player of the year, Ben, I think you're going to win this. TJ Watt was your pick. I picked Daniil Hunter, who decided to get hurt week 1.
Good.
That you lost.
Yeah, I did not. I finished dead last on this one. Isaiah picked Nick Bosa.
Who also got hurt.
Yep. And then RJ picked Aaron Donald. And so I think in order, obviously Ben and RJ, and then Isaiah and me, because at least Nick Bosa played more than one game.
Yeah, like 3.
Yeah. So I think it's going to be TJ Watt, Aaron Donald, then Xavier Howard I have as 3, and then Myles Garrett for 4.
Yeah, I would say Xavier Howard, what do you have, 10 picks by the end of it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's between those top 3 guys. Watt, Donald,
and Xavier Howard, yeah.
I don't think Garrett did enough to make him on the same level.
Right. Offensive Rookie of the Year. Ben and I were the same on Clyde Edwards-Helaire.
You know, he had a good year until he got hurt.
Yeah. He would have been in the conversation if he finished the year out, I think.
Yeah, but the problem is Herbert. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, and then we'll get to RJ picked Joe Burrow.
no.
Who also probably would be the front runner if he didn't get hurt.
And then Isaiah picked Jonathan Taylor.
In the conversation.
I think he's second, in my opinion. I think Herbert's going to win, then it's going to be Taylor, and then Justin Jefferson's probably 3.
Yep. Though it's going to be between those top 3. I think they'll give it to the quarterback, though.
Yeah, that's kind of like how history
I
proceeds
think
itself.
Justin Jefferson. Like when you just break Randy Moss records,
That is pretty impressive.
you should win.
Yeah.
I mean, a receiver just won the Heisman for the first time since '91, so maybe maybe people are realizing.
Yeah. Defensive rookie of the year. RJ and Ben both picked Chase Young, which I think he's going to be one or two, honestly. I think it's going to be between him and Jeremy Chin.
Yep.
But none of us picked Jeremy Chin. Isaiah picked Isaiah Simmons. And then Joel picked Patrick Queen. I think Isaiah Simmons, that pick is last.
Yes.
Patrick Queen is expected to finish third in this year's voting, and then Antoine Winfield Jr. is considered fourth.
Yeah.
So it's right now they have the odds at Chase Young, Jeremy Chin, and Queen, but a lot of people are actually picking Chin to win.
I think it'll be
Chin to win.
I think Young's gonna win.
I think it's gonna be Young. Everyone loves Chase Young.
A little bit flashier.
Right. Comeback player of the year. Ben, you picked Matthew Stafford.
Good choice.
Yep. I picked Cam Newton.
Bad choice.
Well, he looked like a good choice at first. I think in our midweek, and I think in our because Ben, you and I did our midseason show. You said Cam Newton's still probably holding on to it, but he fell apart after midseason.
He did. First 3 or 4 weeks though, I was like, all right, yeah, for sure.
Isaiah picks David Johnson.
He could win it.
Maybe.
No.
And then RJ picked the winner, which is Alex Smith.
Yes. Well, I think they're gonna do it. Even they would have done that if he played a snap.
Yeah.
I think 3 games, but I don't know about a snap.
David Johnson had a really good week 17.
There you go. He finished strong. That's going to be fresh in people's minds. They're going to make that pick.
They're going to look at that. Man.
I don't know. They might give it to Stafford though, man. They might. Like
Stafford did have a good year, but he was on a bad team again. So it's like it's.
But I don't think that matters as much for comeback player of the year.
But it's all about the narrative, and Alex Smith has the greatest narrative ever.
Matthew Stafford's back was broken.
If you look at Stafford all year, like the last 8 weeks, particularly again, like he was playing through
comeback
injury.
player of the year for this year. The guy
He
was
had like 9 injuries.
He can have it next.
He
was
came
like
back.
a body. He was like supposed to be in a body cast with all his different injuries.
He even came back from a fake COVID diagnosis.
Hey, yeah, I remember how pissed Kelly was about that.
Give him the award now.
I think
Toughest man award goes to Matthew Stafford.
Yeah, you can go with that. I would probably put Stafford at 5th. I still think there's the updated odds have Alex Smith. Then Big Ben is still number 2.
Yeah.
And then it has Gronk at 3.
Yeah, I thought Gronk would actually end up.
I thought he would have 20 catches and like 240 yards and like 5 touchdowns.
I thought he'd end up with 5 or 6 touchdowns. He's been a lot better than I thought he would be.
Yeah. So. And then Cam Newton, they still have at 4, and then Stafford's probably 5 or 6 on that odds. I didn't go that far down.
Yeah.
Our last one here is the coach of the year, which I'm probably going to win this one. Hopefully, I'm going to go. Brian Flores was who I picked.
Yeah, but he didn't win the.
I don't know, because like they petered out so hard at the end. They might not give that to him.
Yeah, if you went to like 3 weeks back, I think it'd be Brian Flores for sure. But
I would have picked him. But he made some very questionable coaching decisions in the last 3 or 4 weeks.
I think all of us are still going to be in on the conversation, though, because I have Flores, RJ, and Ben both picked Bruce Arians. And then Isaiah picked Sean McDermott.
Yeah.
And I think, like, you got to put Flores, Tomlin, Stefanski, Rivera, McDermott, and Arians all in that conversation.
Does COVID eliminate you because Stefanski has COVID?
Yeah, I don't know if that would – not he made it through the regular season, so they only go based on regular season. And then I was the only one that gave a top 5 draft order, but I did want to compare with what I have. And I got 2 dead on, and that was the Jaguars having the 1st overall and the Bengals having the 5th overall.
Yeah.
So I had both of those right on.
Look at that.
But then I had Washington football team with the 2nd, Panthers with the 3rd. I had the Jets with the 4th, and then Bengals, and then Giants and Rams.
Yeah, yeah.
So I had the Rams with the 6th pick. Oh, wait. No, I had them with the 7th pick. I had the Rams with the 7th overall pick. So, yeah, I mean, and some of those, I mean, obviously is Jacksonville, Jets, Texans, which goes to the Dolphins. Wait, is that? Yeah, Texans goes to the Dolphins. Yep. And then the Falcons, Bengals, Eagles.
I don't think we were that bad on a lot of these picks, though.
And we were like dead on some of them, very specific.
A lot of our poor picks though were also like heavily injury influenced.
Right. I mean, the 49ers, the Cowboys.
Yeah, the
I
49ers.
think Texans might have been the worst one if
yeah,
we have
a
to.
lot of those. Yeah, Nick Bosa, Joe Burrow.
Yeah.
A lot
I mean,
of those
I
guys.
think the Texans one is pretty much across the board, just like what the heck happened there.
Yeah.
But other than that, I mean, I think it made sense. Most of our picks made sense at the time, obviously, and then it makes sense why they didn't happen,
right?
Due to injuries or, the only one that really just still doesn't make a whole lot of sense is the Texans, I guess. And then there's some Lions homerism, Joel and I a little bit.
I had them dead on because
You did.
Someone's got to be. I mean,
I'm gonna make a prediction right now. Next year they're going 4-12.
That's a little premature.
Too bad.
I want to see who they hire as their head coach first.
Yeah, and GM. It's going to make all the difference for me.
No, I mean, they're still going to be a bad team.
Okay,
but the enemy interviewed, so
6-10 next year.
Thank you. 6-10. I'll take it. Done.
The enemy interviewed.
I did see that they've got a lot of guys they interviewed, and I'm not vibing with it,
including Daryl Bevel.
I want him to be the coach.
There's definitely a free agent wish list too. I saw for Detroit, where if they can get safety Justin Simmons in free agency, wide receiver Corey Davis,
ooh, I would like that,
and linebacker Avery Williamson and defensive tackle Sheldon Rankins, and edge rusher Ryan Anderson.
They have the money for these things?
They do. That's all. They have the budget all calculated at the bottom.
Well, latest mocks have them picking Quiddy Pay, so we'll see what happens there.
Now, and did you see how dumb that is? Because I saw Pro Football Focus put them at Quiddy Pay.
And then they ranked him a C.
And I'm like, why would you do a mock draft where you're going to give yourself a C grade? Yeah, especially because the pick after Quiddy Pay was Micah Parsons. I'm like, you can't pass up Micah Parsons.
No. They probably, I don't know. They won't. They wouldn't. I wouldn't think they would. But I think Quiddy. I mean, I don't know. I'm higher on Quiddy Pay than probably both of you guys. But if Micah Parsons is there, then yeah, you can't pass him off. Yeah,
I'm a mid first round guy for Quiddy Pay. I have him in the 14, 18 range.
I think Quiddy Pay is a lot better than what he showed at Michigan because he was on some crap teams with 0 defensive tackles.
I mean, yeah, my mock drafts and stuff, they always change after pro days and combines.
Yeah, we'll see. I'm telling you right now, Quiddy Pay is going to light up the combine.
I look forward to it. There's a lot of camp. It's going to be interesting to see Cam McGrone do some things too. I know Aiden Hutchinson's staying now, so we don't have to worry about that. But yeah, I don't know. It could be interesting.